Well, the one video that everybody seems to be talking about right now. The Christian side hug. This has got to be the dumbest piece of shit I've ever heard of in my life. And even though I wasn't making videos, I was around for a Venom thing. I've seen Deal. I've seen Apologetics, and this has got to be the dumbest shit I've ever seen. This is just fucking retarded. I mean, I can't get as upset as I've seen a lot of atheists on YouTube get because I don't take it all that seriously. This seems just like fucking retarded shit. But I went ahead and wrote some notes so I wouldn't just ramble on tonight like I usually do. And I was thinking I'd go over a few things that this does kind of bring to mind. A, Christians are so damn afraid of sex that apparently now they can't even hug. I don't know, maybe the dick inside the pants, inside the underpants, usually, would rub up against the clitoris. Who knows? I don't know what the hell they're thinking exactly. I don't think any of us do. I think that's why we've been going on about this shit. But it's funny. But I think that the more that people abstain from, touching each other, rubbing on each other, yeah, that kind of stuff, the more sensitive they are to touch. And the more you tell somebody not to think about something, the more they're going to think about not thinking about it. And therefore, the more they'll think about it. Yeah. I mean, the whole anti-sexuality to the point that you can't even fucking hug each other anymore, that's fucking crazy. But it also brings up a few other little things, like, it's generic and dumb and very fucking PC, but there are, violent lyrics to the song, which I find even more interesting. It's like you get to the point that you can't even hug each other because that might be sexually tantalizing. Then what happens? You know, you start feeding the instinct for death. You can't even touch each other. You can't even touch each other. Can't even hug each other. Good fucking God, man. You know, Freud talked about, and I'm not a big fan of Freud, but there are a few things I think he got right, or at least that I find interesting anyway. And one of those, I haven't completely decided if he's right or not, but I do find it interesting, is the instinct for life and the instinct for death. The instinct for life manifesting in sexuality, and the instinct for death manifesting in bashing someone's fucking head in. When you get rid of the instinct for life, you stop feeding that, well, you start feeding the instinct for death. You start feeding the instinct to just bash each other's fucking heads in. It's not a healthy thing. It's a very incredibly unhealthy thing. And mostly I just find this is loaded with fucking fail. It really fucking is. Because there's just too many retarded things about it. Song opens up with gunshots, and it's about how we shouldn't hug each other. Gotta wonder about fucking Christians sometimes. Though, of course, I've met a few Christians I wouldn't mind fucking. But just really have to wonder sometimes But I think I've said everything I needed to say. And the ironic thing about the whole Christian anti-sexuality thing is not only do they want us to propagate and multiply without having sex or fucking each other, which is kind of weird. I don't know how that works exactly. Maybe someone should fill me in. I guess nowadays we have test tubes. Maybe Christians think we should all get inverto fertilization. I'm not quite sure how else you would have a kid without, having sex, which is so dreaded and dirty, which is part of the fucking problem, really. I could understand early Christians to some degree with their issues about sex. It's not about making it dirty and disgusting. It's about it should be sacred. And I do believe that. It should be something that's treasured. It's nothing more beautiful to me, to my mind, than being that physically close with somebody that you genuinely care quite a lot for. But when they're anti-sexuality to the point that they're afraid to hug each other, you just gotta fucking wonder about that shit. Because how much are they thinking about this? How much are they thinking about what they can't do? How much are they thinking about what they shouldn't be doing? Sometimes the best way to keep a pure mind is to give into temptation. Have a good night, everyone.